So let's call the Woodbury Select Board meeting, Woodbury Select Board meeting to order on Wednesday, May 27th at just like 6 something. 6:04. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
Add the element
Yeah, where would you like to do that?
with the rest of my stuff down at the bottom.
Okay.
Down by the update on buyouts.
Yeah, as well. Remind me that that's there. All right. Any other amendments, Dana?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Is there a motion regarding the minutes from May 11th?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as drafted.
All right. Any discussion?
Did I see an email from Lily about some dollar amount needing changed? Was that
About what?
some dollar amount
yeah.
on the minutes needing
Yes.
changed?
Yeah.
Some minor.
Yeah, let me
Some
look
minor thing.
at that.
It was just a small correction
Yeah.
in the amount.
Under the treasurer's report? Yeah, there were a couple of things that made it hard to understand what was supposed to be written here, so I left a couple things out. What was it?
It was the amount for the insurance for the school building,
Okay,
which was 16,796.
how much?
16,000.
15,
16?
16,
700.
796.
Yes.
And I wrote 15,000, or 14,000?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I just made that up. Okay,
All right, so would you like to amend the motion to,
yeah, let's amend the motion, yeah, so we gotta approve it as amended.
all right, so there's a motion to approve the minutes from May 11th as amended. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes from May 11th, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
Something I just came across and I
Excuse me.
just for your midnight reading.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right. So public comment is for anyone who would like to make a comment that is not already on the agenda.
Michael?
So people might have noticed this already, but your next select board meeting, there's a legislature
Yeah, I
meet
know.
and greet kind of thing scheduled for this room.
No, they're having theirs in the town hall.
Oh, well, it said the community room in the library on their notice.
I'll check into that.
They asked for the town hall.
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Well, on
They might
the
have.
notice I saw in Front Porch Forum, it said the community room, so.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry to have to miss it, but we've got too much going on.
Okay.
Okay. So
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Is there any other public comment?
Public comment is for people who are not on the agenda.
Yeah, I don't think I am on the agenda.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so I'm here in a personal context, not on behalf of the library. Specifically, I'm here to ask about an abandoned town road that goes through my property.
Your name is David
David Barber, yep.
Barman? Okay.
Specifically, Town Highway 21, which I've got a few pages here. If anybody wants to take a look, I have the road highlighted and all that stuff. But the gist is, right at the beginning of the road where it intersects with 14, there is a bridge that goes over the stream on the westbound side, west side of Route 14. And the floods in 23 damaged the bridge. There's some photos in there from 2023 of what the water initially done. I had filled the hole in a couple times. This is the only way I have to get to the back of my property. but the rain that we had come through last weekend has done it in for the last time. Between that and the beavers building the dam, it's starting to cave in. So
It's a stone bridge, right?
yeah, stone and earth with a granite box
Yeah,
culvert
stone,
at
yeah.
the bottom. So the town highway is listed as abandoned or unpassable, I think.
Untraveled, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an abandoned
Okay.
unless we abandon it. We
Yeah.
haven't.
So further from that, the road doesn't go anywhere but into the middle of the property and then it stops. So I guess what I'm curious about, I'm hesitant to start doing repairs on that bridge before, well, checking to see what I should be doing and how I should handle it. And since the bridge doesn't go anywhere but my own property and I would be the only one benefiting from it, I don't feel like it's justified to ask the town to fix it. I would, put the money in and fix it myself, but to avoid any liability or concerns or whatever, I thought maybe it would be best to ask for going through delisting of the town road before I handle fixing the bridge. Basically, I'm not sure exactly how to proceed, and I wanted to get everybody's input.
It's a
One
cool,
option.
cool looking bridge.
One
It
option
is a cool looking bridge. It's,
Yeah.
it's too
One
bad.
option is to ask the town to discontinue the road,
Okay,
but that's a process.
okay.
And then the town would have to decide whether it's best to, whether it's in the town's interest. You're familiar with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of short little class 4
Yeah,
roads that are
yeah.
the same as your situation.
This is a class 4, not a trail.
I think it's listed as a class 4.
Class 4, yeah,
Yeah.
not a trail.
So it can be reclassified as a trail, which would eliminate any responsibility from the town to fix it. As a class 4 road now, technically the town is, if you wanted the town to fix it, the town would have to fix it. We fixed a bridge on another short class 4 road that goes to one house. Actually, we fixed a number of them
Yeah.
at great expense. So, and there is a process for reclassifying a road. It's not horrendous, but there is a process for doing that.
But I think to reclassify it to a trail means that the town wants to maintain some access for it, which means that
Would-
people could use it, which is probably not what you want.
Yeah, the town would maintain the right of way.
Right, yeah, which that's.
Or it can be reclassified, it can be discontinued, or what's the term?
Thrown up.
Thrown up.
Yeah, that's a good old Vermont term.
I think the excavator I was talking to about it, I think used that terminology. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the common term, yeah. So those are the town options. Otherwise, and if there are class 4 roads where a property owner does do the work on it at their expense with the permission of the town. So that's an option too.
And if it turned into trail, what would be the benefit to?
There's no
even-
benefit.
No
No
benefit
benefit
to
to the
anyone
town.
if it was.
Unless you want to retain some type of right of way in case, like say 50 or 100 years from now, that property gets divided up and somebody wants to build a house up there.
Yeah,
There's not much
yeah,
benefit.
that's,
Mhm.
I mean, the one trail, Chris, that was created was the one that goes from Buck Lake all the way to Hardwick. That used to be a town road. So it's nice to have that as a public trail. People can walk on it, but.
Yeah, but that actually goes someplace.
Hmm?
That actually goes someplace.
Right.
Well,
And it's
Yeah.
also, right.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm opposed to people walking through. Like I don't currently have anything posted, and I don't plan to unless it becomes a huge problem. But at the same time, I don't want to like host a parade route.
Yeah.
right.
So
Hmm.
I do camp and do some minor personal logging and sawmill stuff back there. So yeah.
Robin, do you have a suggestion or
I've
comment?
got a question. Now, part of that is considered a dam, correct?
I
That's
think
what I
it
was
might
gonna
be,
ask.
yeah. And so part of the concern, and you can see in one of those pictures after the flood, what you see from the downstream side, that the upstream side of the lake normally, or the upstream side of the bridge, I'm sorry, is usually fairly empty and there's just a little bit of a stream going through. But during heavy rain events, it does hold back water to the point that the water rises up. And it actually still is right now from the rains we had last weekend, which is abnormal.
So there is a concern that the town would have to look at. If you just,
Yeah.
well, you don't wanna take it out though, because.
No, I don't wanna
you gotta
take-
get the-
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking, I don't know if that would be a decision the town makes, or Fish and Wildlife, or whoever does, waterway management stuff would have to have a say, but, I mean, it does seem to meter the amount of water going through to some extent. So, I'm kinda hopeful it can be fixed back up with the existing stone. I don't really know if that's the case though. It's, it's still all underwater.
Peter, you wanna take a look at it?
Yeah, I can take a look at it.
And then, David, is it all right? Obviously, if we take some time just to kind of like do a little research and think over
yeah.
how to approach the next step.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect a solution in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I figure, especially with how quickly it started falling apart last weekend, that I should probably jump on top of this before the next winter season.
Yeah, it's too bad it didn't happen during, one of the floods.
Well, it kind of started during one of the floods.
Yeah.
I had spoken to somebody about that at some point. They said they didn't think FEMA would cover it because it didn't deny access to any dwelling.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you, Dave.
Can I ask a quick question? Where does the water that's flowing under this bridge go to end up?
Actually ends up right out here.
Right across, right.
Yeah, it goes right through the middle of town.
Be it Winooski.
The ocean, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what do you call it, Kingsbury Branch, or is it
Kingsbury
Cooper?
Branch.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So, all the water in Woodbury flows out, nothing flows in, so like you're near the top of the watershed there,
Yeah,
Comes
yeah, a lot
down.
of it comes down the mountain.
through the,
And most of it's via Winooski.
Wetland
But
stuff.
via Lemoyle.
You might want to also check in with historical. That could be a possibility. Somebody might.
And the state, because if it is a dam, then that's probably owned by the state, not us.
The dam.
Well,
If it is a dam.
there are dams in town that are on people's property, and they're basically responsible for them, and the state charges them a certain amount of money every year to have that dam. So if you haven't been getting bills for that,
No.
this is more like a
more like a
culvert
bridge, I
thing.
think.
Yeah, my understanding
Stone
is maybe 150 years ago there was a water wheel
Yeah, there
sawmill
was
there.
a mill there,
So
I'm
I
sure,
think,
yeah.
yeah, I think that may have been where it originated.
Thank you.
So.
All right. Is there any other public comment? All right.
What's Dana here for?
Just to see how the wheels of,
What?
how you guys.
You want to volunteer for a position? Is that what you're saying?
I think you're out of order.
All right. So moving on to the next agenda item is the delivery of the petition for a town meeting, and Anna Peltz is here. I'm not sure if you're part.
Hi, Eileen can't make it
Okay.
after all, but she's
Here in spirit. Perfect.
Indeed.
Floor is
Yeah,
yours.
Thank you. So I'll be brief. I know how long the meetings can get. So I've been trying to keep my ear to the ground in terms of what's been going on in the school. I'm no longer sitting on the elementary school board, but very active and engaged in all the issues that are coming through both our local district and Montpelier. So for a number of reasons, I've started trying to aggregate the conversations I'm having in multiple places into a more of a consensus. And we had a group here last Thursday that were punting around some interesting ideas. I'm hearing some people say they want to do this and some people say they want to do that. And then when the budgets, we had a number of rounds of budgeting that didn't pass. And so it feels to me like this is a really important moment for Woodbury to be able to proactively decide what we want to have happen, not just with our school building, but with the education for the children in our town. And for no, I mean, I know that the pressure has been coming in waves to close Woodbury School for decades. I don't know where those pressures originated before I moved here, but since I've been here in the last 10 years and been paying attention, it's really around the state's desire to consolidate and also within our own district, pressure from various towns to simplify and consolidate everyone into Harvard Elementary.
Because they think it's gonna save money.
Right.
That's
Well,
bottom
I
line,
think that
isn't it?
there are,
For
it's
some of
hard,
those smaller
Diana.
people.
I mean, I think that's certainly part of it. I think that the assumption is that if we close a school, then our elementary district budget would go down and we would therefore save taxpayers money. The reality is that any savings we make through budgeting at the district level goes back into the education fund at the state level and gets redistributed across all of the districts in the state. So money, if we close a school in our district and save money, it could actually be benefiting taxpayers in another part of in another district entirely, right? It's not a one-to-one in terms of how the money flows. So that's a big presumption. I mean, I think that we're in a moment again where the question is looming large, whether our school will be able to survive this another round of scrutiny and pressure to close. So what I'm interested in, and whatever vehicle makes the most sense, is fine with me. I think that a town meeting is what came out of this conversation we had last Thursday. But if that's not the right venue, that's fine.
Was a petition submitted?
There is, yes. So I have a petition of 46 Woodbury residents. We did not get addresses, which I don't know if that is necessary for the petition to be valid, but I have 5% of Woodbury voters who have signed a petition just calling for a special town meeting to discuss this. There's really no binding action Woodbury can take, but what I'm asking for is the opportunity to have a conversation that's public enough and sort of above the radar enough that everyone in town is aware that these things are happening. And that we could get some meaningful consensus about how Woodbury wants to proceed.
Yeah, there are, and I shared this with the other board members too, there are standards for submitting a petition. And for one thing, the technical things, your name printed and signed in the town you live in. But there's the fact that usually a town meeting is for a specific purpose, not just to talk. It has to be something you can put on an agenda, like an article for the people to vote on. And I don't think, to have a town meeting is kind of complicated. Has a lot of steps. Everybody has to be, there's a lot of steps.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
What would be the difference between like a select board meeting that addressed some questions about the school, not calling it a special? This is just a question, not calling it a town meeting per se, but just another board meeting that was warned by the board that would. I do have some questions about like who would moderate and like how would the questions, where would the questions come from and how do you create dialogue?
Yeah.
But is that
From a technical aspect.
from a technical aspect? I don't think I don't think it has to be a town meeting per
No.
se. But go ahead, Robin. You maybe
Could
have
it
some
be a
insight.
forum?
Well,
A
that's,
town forum,
it could be,
instead of a select board meeting?
I cut out an article from the paper the other day, and of course I forgot it. But it was from the town of Berlin, I think. There's several issues that the select board wanted public input on. And I was gonna say that it was just like a public meeting, not a town meeting.
Okay,
But then I realized that that's not the same as, because that was town business. School is not town business. There's no action that the town
Right.
select board can take that influences what the school board does.
that's true. So to be clear, the question I'm asking is whether Woodbury should petition to leave our current district and join a different district. That's one of the main questions that I think needs to be answered right now.
Needs to be asked.
Needs to be asked and asked first and then answered.
Yeah.
So while you're right, Diana, every sort of technical action that can be taken around school-related business is binding at the district level. So there wouldn't, if we were to warn an article for a special town meeting or something and the town voted, it would be a non-binding vote anyway. So
Right.
technically, I guess that's where I'm getting caught up is like, however we technically, but like what is the consensus of Woodbury residents?
The people
Can I just ask one more
who-
Yeah.
question? So what prevents our representatives to Darren and Heather
And Heather, yeah.
from coordinating a town-wide informational meeting around this?
Yep,
Well,
we could,
anybody could do it. It wouldn't
yeah,
have to be
anyone
them.
could
Yeah.
do that. I think right now, the relationships between the constituent towns in the elementary district are very challenged.
It's a nice way to put it.
So, as a school board member, I understand why they are pretty hands-off on any town-related organizing.
Got it.
Because it may be perceived by other members of their board as contentious activity or whatever, right? Everyone's kind of on eggshells around everyone else right now because there's a lot of really challenging dynamics, both at the board level, at the district level, I mean, beyond, right? And this has been going on, in my experience, since the Lakeview transition started now almost 5 years ago. So, yeah. So I'm sort of operating as a free agent. Like, I'm not on any boards, I can just kind of talk to anybody, anytime, about anything.
Yeah.
And then that's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to do, is just like organize, right? Like,
So if you announced just a public forum for a couple of weeks from now or 3 weeks, whatever, at the town hall, what would there be someone to offer information or just take questions and other people try to answer them or?
yep, so what I've been starting to do is amass, like, I assume that if we did have some sort of gathering for townwide consensus on moving forward, we would need very clear information. So I'm starting to pull together handouts on like, all right, what's the status of the district? What is going on with this new, there's a subcommittee that's just been created to look at district configuration, which is basically a way of saying, how do we look at which schools are gonna close and which schools are gonna stay open. That's really what they're talking about. I mean, I think if we're just being honest. Configuration means, it's like we went through all those configuration meetings with Lakeview. What ended up happening with Lakeview was actually, in my opinion, great. Their school, they lost an elementary school in their town, but they gained like a really wonderful, vibrant educational center that serves our youngest students, right? But what happened in the meantime, what happened in the town of Greensboro over the 3 years that transition took place, I mean, they just got dragged through the mud. It was so gnarly, and like the way that the teachers, the staff, I mean, there was everyone, it was demoralizing for their entire town and their entire school. We came through it, we pulled out. with what I think was a great solution, but I don't wanna see Woodbury getting dragged through the mud like that for the next 3 years. That's just, I mean, like, I can't, like, that's not, so, yeah.
So,
Michael had a comment.
Yeah, I was on the select board when we were forced to consolidate the first time, and was part of the group, Patrick Flood and Norman Etkin and I, that negotiated the lease, because it was generally felt that the town didn't want to give up ownership of the school. And I was really trying to push for the same kind of meeting that Anna's asking for, but it never happened. So we were kind of going on just a small group of people who really wanted to retain ownership. And the work on that lease was pretty onerous also. And I noticed that one particular character who pretty much was the main reason that was that way, was mentioned in the last week's Gazette article, so that person is still at it. And you know, the issue now is that the school is unsafe because of the fire escape.
Yeah.
So we gotta shut it down. So, you know, this has been, as Anna said, it's been going on a long time, and I think this time it really would behoove the town to try to get as many people in town who care about the school, have ideas about how to proceed, not just the school itself, but the education of the children in Woodbury. I mean, I think it would be really great to have a group of people, as many people as wanted, you know, some kind of public forum to discuss this, and maybe to have people who have some expertise in this option or that option that could be there to help answer questions.
Yeah, there's so many questions, and I was hoping that this new committee of 8 people would be, or 8,
I don't
10
think they're going to
people.
look at very many options.
Well,
I mean, the
okay, but
committee-
how could they not, I mean, what are they gonna be doing until
So
October?
the committee that is being formed.
Yeah,
at
the
district level.
subcommittee, yeah.
Right, so that's being formed, there are 3, so there'll be 3 school board members, 1 from each, actually 4, excuse me,
4.
the standard, and then 1 member from each town.
And 2 administrators.
Yep, so, you know, that process will move as it will, and whatever happens at the end of it is gonna just be a recommendation to the board.
Right.
But my concern is that with leadership transitions happening both at the superintendent level and director of finance, the 2 top positions in our SU are both in transition right now and have been extraordinarily supportive of our school and of trying to maintain due process for all of these decisions. We're in a vulnerable moment right now at the SU level that is not lost on those who want to close the school or make big changes. So striking while
Interesting.
in this moment, like we see this happening. And the complaints about safety at Woodbury School are coming to the AOE, to the, you know, they are found to be not, you know, without base. And Beth Parker is an incredible principal and she has all of this dialed completely in. So when she gets one of those phone calls to say, we're calling because of an anonymous complaint, whatever, blah, 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 she's able to handle it and it doesn't go anywhere. But the point is the pressure is coming and it's coming hard and it's coming more and more frequently.
So are there people who can address things like the option to move into another district?
I think, yeah, so, I mean, that's basically, would be a citizen initiative to pull together the information. What is that process like? We know what the statute is to petition out of our district and into another. Because of what just happened this week in the legislature, it looks like the state would be very favorable to districts voluntarily merging with other districts. So the process
But
may
that's not the
actually-
kind of merger that's gonna result in fewer administrators, which seems like.
Right, so because they're looking at bigger aggregate, anyway, so, yeah, there are a lot of moving parts, but basically, I think rather than waiting for something to be done to us, I would love for us to proactively decide what we want and do it ourselves, whatever it is.
And another thing that was mentioned when we were together, I was at that meeting also on Thursday, is that if we don't, if we did want to move into another district, we have a window of time to do that. If we put it off, we wouldn't have a choice. So I don't, and I don't know how the town would feel about that, but there is a reason to try to, if the town did want to get into this, was it Central Vermont?
Washington Central.
Washington Central District, there's a window of time to initiate that process. Sounds like it's pretty elaborate, but,
Especially since they're-
and then the door closes and we don't have a choice at all.
Once the state decides where people are going, presumably it's gonna be pretty hard to get out of that situation. But right
But they have
now,
already done that to us one time.
under Act
Yeah,
46,
yeah.
you mean?
Yeah. we
Yeah,
had to
I
have
mean,
them
they,
all.
Right.
they put us in this district.
Yes, we were force merged into this
right.
district. And then that's when the statute was written to make it very, very difficult to petition out of a district. But what I understand is happening now is that the door is opening again at the state level to say, if you want, like, we're asking for voluntary mergers. So if Woodbury wants to, now, they're, as you said, Diana, they're wanting bigger mergers, right? But if they're, but as the folks who are trying to figure out how to redistrict and reorganize, if we were to queue as a town that we would like to be lumped into another area, that's helpful information for them. And, I mean, if we even just look at, like, we're in Washington County. We're the only town in Washington County that isn't part of Washington
Yeah.
Central. So,
Yeah, the Washington Central is trying to close East Callis, or Callis Elementary.
yes, right, so there's, yeah.
But
So
anyways, there's a lot
Robin
of
may
things.
either have a point or a question.
Well, when we merge the elementary school, that's also gonna mean we have to merge our high school also, correct?
So, right, they are two different districts. So our elementary school is part of the Mountain View district, which is a
Yeah.
union district. And so, yeah, pre-K through 6 are part of that, and then 7 through 12 are part of the Hazen district.
Right.
So if we were to petition out of a district, we would actually be petitioning out of both. I mean,
Really?
theoretically, we could send our elementary kids somewhere and send our high school kids to Hazen,
That's a bad
but it
idea.
doesn't-
That's a bad
that wouldn't
idea.
make any sense,
Right.
right? So we would be petitioning to take pre-K through 12 out of the current setup and move them where we wish. Again, that's just hypothetical. I'm not saying that's what we should do. It's just one of the options.
And the reason when they first set up the union, why we went to Hardwick, is because if we went U32 way, the busing for the kids were gonna be too long for them to be on those buses.
Yep.
Hey, Anna, can I ask a couple questions?
Yeah, sure.
So there was like conversations around this years ago when I was on the Woodbury school board, and my recollection is that in order for Woodbury to leave the district, the towns that are in that district also need to vote to
Yes.
let Woodbury out. So like
That's right.
Greensboro and Hardwick would have to vote to say, go ahead. I don't know whether they have a reason to or not, but
I don't either. I mean, that would be, essentially that would be, so I've thought about that a couple of things.
it seemed, and I would say it seemed unlikely the
Then.
last time that we went through
Yeah.
this that they would be interested in that.
So, based on what I'm hearing, again, it's hard to know because there's a loud minority, I
Yeah.
think, of folks that are calling for the school to be closed. But that being said, when we couldn't pass our budget, I'm like, I don't know how much support. In my mind, I would love to think that everyone is rallying around our schools, all of our schools, right? And that there is general consensus and support to fund our schools. When our budgets started having so much trouble this past round, I was like, well, wait a minute, maybe that's not the case.
Yeah.
And so my sense is that what I'm hearing is that Woodbury is actually being seen as just a drain on the rest of the, they're like, we don't wanna pay for your school, we don't wanna pay for you.
I know, the
And that-
issue of all the talk about the fact that they don't want to invest because this district doesn't own the school, it's just such a non-issue. It's not like somebody's gonna end up selling the school building to,
Right, I mean, I think
Yeah.
any which angle, right, I think that there is a mobilized contingent, I will say, of folks who, I don't know exactly what their motivations are, whether it's, trying to simplify at the district level or save money or whatever, but I think that there would be interest in cutting us loose, if that's what we want. It's hard to know until we take a vote.
and there won't be a vote to, if this committee ends up recommending that the school should close, then the board has to decide, and the board is involved, has 5 members from Hardwick, 2 from Woodbury, 2 from Greensboro, and 1 from Stannard, so there's 5 and 5. They would have to put it, and then they have to put it together to a public vote, which in that case, we're easily outnumbered, but
Right,
that's,
yeah.
a lot of steps.
I'm gonna suggest that we just have a couple more comments, just so we can move the meeting on. But go ahead,
Sorry.
John.
Yes, that was my main question. On the one hand, I think that it would be a good thing for a meeting to be held. On the other hand, it's not clear to me what authority the select board has to enact or cause a meeting to occur. That's a little unclear to me. I'm supportive of it in concept, but it's not clear to me whether you need us or whether we have the right to sort of like make something happen. That part I'm a little unclear on, because I'm not sure at the time. I mean, I think that the town could organize, or I should say the citizens of the town could get together for any reason. If there's, I'm not sure what the mechanism would be for whether there's any room for our authority, or even if we have
No, I
any.
don't think
I
there really
hate to
is.
say it, and this is probably uncomfortable for Darren and Heather, but that feels like the real
Their job.
place where this should be coming from. And I'm 100% interested in being part of the conversation, but maybe not as a select board.
Yep.
That doesn't make, not to like put people and items in different columns, but it feels like this is a different column.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I think whatever procedural path makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Great.
And then I just have one other thing, just maybe to go away with, is that the idea of consensus, I think, is going to be hard to establish at an informational meeting. It'd probably take more than one meeting,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
perhaps some sort of unofficial. I don't even know. I'm not even sure how you get that feeling on what people in Woodbury are thinking.
Well, I mean, as I see it, there are 3 pretty clear options, and so it's like we could take a show of hands, like who wants to move in this direction,
Right.
who wants to move in that direction.
Right.
It seems to me that the citizens of Woodbury could organize a meeting and invite their select board representatives.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, perfect. Paul.
Just two questions and a comment. I was curious when Diana said, I don't think there's any way we can affect the school district. And you said, I don't think there's any way we can have a binding effect on them. There are certainly school districts, I believe, and I guess this is a push question, but I believe the select board can write all the letters. You can write letters to Bernie, you can write letters to whoever. There's no reason you can't write a letter to the select board. So when John says, I don't know what we can do that would be a town effect, you could call a meeting to vote on what to do and what to write, or am I missing something?
Well, we don't have any authority, that's the thing.
No, you have no binding authority.
Sure. It would be
But just like the town can ask you to write a letter to your state legislators, and most towns do it. Anyway, so I throw that out.
And for that matter, it could be a special select board meeting to determine whether we want to write something, and if so, what. To your point.
Anyway, so that's probably not real news.
Yeah.
This other piece, when you talk about what could happen, and this group that got formed under pressure from a very small group of people, in my opinion, who are making a lot of noise. I have heard from people on the school board unofficially that they would like to consider all possibilities. The hint from that conversation being, one possibility might be consolidating in some new school. So I think there are ideas way bigger than I've heard in this room tonight. And whether that actually happens, who knows, but I just throw that out as a crazy idea.
I hate to do this, but I'm,
Yeah, I
I'm
get
gonna
it.
say that we're
Keep it
gonna,
moving.
yeah, move on to the next thing. Thank you.
Yeah, so just to be clear on my next steps, I'll talk to Darren and Heather, and I guess I'm hearing that it would be okay to just call a citizens meeting forum.
Anybody could do that, sure.
And be on Front Porch Forum and just like make it as public as possible. And it's just an informal citizens forum.
I wonder if you ever decided like to do a mailing, possibly the town could contribute some mailing labels or something like that, that
Yeah,
doesn't cost very
okay.
much for.
Right, if we were able to pull together a packet of information, like here are some things to consider, right, that would be, yeah, interesting, okay.
And that might, I think, it sounds like the first part is to kind of educate people, because it would be hard to ask people to show up and then in an hour, hour and a half, hear 3 different options and say, yeah, I'm gonna put my vote behind this,
Right.
this one option.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
operate that way.
yeah,
But,
yeah, right,
so anyways,
okay, thank you
thank you.
for your time,
You can send info to the Hardwick Gazette if you wanted to reach people.
yes.
So that's it.
Great. Well, this is the process, right, and there may be, so, you know, the steps to petitioning out of a district are long and arduous. And so with, the first step is a 5% signature from each of the towns in the
Oh, really?
district.
Really?
And that may, I mean, there's enough interest and momentum among residents in Woodbury that may very well move forward.
So you mean there would be other, you need get 5% voter signatures from other towns?
In every town, Stanford, Greensboro.
Oh,
Hardwick,
for
and
every town,
Woodbury.
oh, okay.
Yep, so that's the first step in what is a long and arduous process, but, anyway, so,
Okay, thank you for
thank you
Look
all.
forward to
Yeah. we'll
attending
stay
a
in
meeting and
touch.
learning more about the options. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
We're gonna move on to our road report, and Peter and Michael. I guess let's start with Peter, and then we can do any updates. Good night, Anna.
Good night.
Any updates on grants, if there are?
Oh, I had Larry Alday, lives on Wheeler, call me today.
Larry Abel.
Abel, yeah.
Say that
Um,
again?
Larry Abel.
Oh, Larry Abel, yeah.
I had him call me today, and he's got contractors working on his property that have a jackhammer on an excavator,
Yeah,
and he was wondering, and it should be done. I think it should be done too, but there's a ledge across the road from his house that is right near the end of our culvert, and there's ledge all around it, and our culvert keeps plugging because the water in the silt has nowhere to go because of this ledge. I've talked to the contractor today to just see what he thought, and he'd be willing to bust that piece of ledge out of there for us tomorrow if you guys approve it. And he said that it would be about $2,500 for his 2 machines to do that for the day.
All right.
and then what? The culvert has to be replaced, or?
No, I will dig out both ends of the culvert, upper and lower, and then I'll have to flush it out with our tank truck.
And then this plugs and then damages the road on a regular basis?
Yes.
Yeah,
The road is in really rough shape right there.
okay. This is on county?
Wheeler.
Wheeler,
Wheeler Hill Road,
okay.
right by Larry Abel's house, actually.
The road's in terrible shape right there.
So that would involve you closing the road for day or so?
No, because
No?
he'd be working off the road. He'd be working off the edge of the road.
Oh,
But it would be essentially us that would have to pay for him to remove that ledge.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise, later on, if we were going to do it, we would have to rent a machine, which probably would cost more than that.
Yeah. I think it's $3 grand or
like
something. Like that.
Yeah.
If your recommendation is to do it now, and that makes sense as the machine is there,
I mean, the machine is there, and he said that he'd be willing to do it tomorrow, and he's gonna move the machine tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So it's going somewhere else.
okay.
and this will help maintain that road a little bit longer. You'll have to visit it less.
Oh, yeah, because we constantly have to go up there and shovel that culvert out, clean that culvert out, because it constantly plugs, because
Yeah.
the water has nowhere to go.
Plugged right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. What does everybody think?
That's good, sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Peter.
You got-
Then,
Colin?
Kurt Thompson,
Okay.
he has offered us $1,000 for our trailer down at the town clerk's office.
Yeah. What did we have?
Yes.
What price did we have on it?
I think
500?
Alfie put 45 on it,
Uh-huh.
but the only thing good on that trailer is the frame.
Yeah. It's set. It's been sitting
And
there
it's
for
been
almost a year.
Yeah, and nobody's bothering to
Yeah.
jump on it. So,
I think it sounds great, in my opinion.
and then the CV fiber for
Oh, the Scrivener Road?
Scribner Road. They don't know when they can actually start the project. So they're going to keep in touch with me to try to schedule a day that we can both be up there so I can change that culvert when they're putting that pipe in.
Okay.
So that way that pipe will go on the culvert.
So but we have a completed application on that, right? He was gonna send us the application he brought in last time didn't have the,
He did send it.
description. He sent it?
Yeah.
And
I want to say we got an email, with
Okay.
a copy of it as well.
So we have a full application with a
Mhm.
description?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we should sign it at some point. But I guess there's no hurry.
I don't know when they're planning on
Okay.
getting started with that. And then, I don't know if we've came up with a decision on the 550.
Well, I think that there's, you know,
No.
we have not come up with a decision on the 550, and wanted to run past some ideas past you.
Because I've got McGee calling me or emailing me almost every day wondering
What are we doing with it?
What we're doing with the truck.
Can you remind me again the numbers on that? We spent, and so the 550, when we replaced, it wasn't exhaust necessarily, but what was
It was the exhaust manifolds and the exhaust pipes up to the turbo, and then they had to change the turbo. And that was a total of 12,000 something. I
Okay.
don't remember the exact number on that.
And then we got that back, and a week later,
Yeah,
it says they say it needs a new engine.
yeah, and then they said the motor was blown,
Okay.
which now they're saying for a motor replacement would be 15,000.
15, I thought
All right.
it was 10 last week. So are they calling you because the truck is sitting down there?
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's sitting there and you know, they don't have a plan to do anything with it, and neither do we. So, and it's just sitting in
Yeah.
their yacht lot. So
Yeah.
they're after me to give them a decision on if I'm going to get it or if I'm leaving it there.
Leaving it meaning
That-
they'll junk it?
That they would do the work.
Oh, yeah, I don't think
Because if I leave it there, if we're not going to do anything with it, regardless, I have to go get it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so they're not gonna like put it on their lot to sell it?
No.
Darn. Yeah.
And then, is there any sense? I mean, I think that you had said that like a fully equipped, you know, with a dump body and a plow, a new 550 was. I think you told me like 150 to 170 or something.
It had a price of 130.
Yeah,
thought
when we
it
went to the municipal truck show, there was a Ford dealer in Rutland that works with HP Fairfield, and he said that he was telling us that we could have a truck all set up for right around 130, 140.
Okay.
Would that be a Ford
It'd be a
Ford?
yeah, it'd be
Not
a
just a
Ford
one-
F.
Are
It'd
there
probably
other-
be a 550 or a 350.
Are there other 1-tons that are not Fords?
Well, so the one question, I was talking to a gentleman in town this week, and is it feasible for us to get a larger pickup that we could put a salt, we could salt with?
I mean, I was kind of thinking a smaller 1-ton instead of a 550. Go with something like a 350. So it's not quite a
Right.
it doesn't need to be that big of a truck. We don't have to put a lot of salt on it.
Right. And if we were, I guess I'm trying to think about like replacing that versus spending $130,000 on a 550. Like, I know you don't expect you to know the answer to that, but we're probably looking at a different number than that.
I mean, I could look around because you probably could get just a regular standard 1-ton dump truck for a lot cheaper than you can get one set up with the sander body and everything. Because we do have a stainless steel sander box that would go in the back bed of a truck as long as it had hydraulics.
I'm sorry, a what box?
It's a sander box, like people have in their trucks when they plow and sand driveways.
Oh, okay.
We have a stainless steel one that we used to use it for doing blacktop when our old 550, was the one we used to have that box in.
And that could go into something a little bit smaller than a 550.
Yes,
So could you get us a price on the smaller version?
I can get prices on smaller ones.
And then let's just let McGee keep calling us for a little while
Okay.
until we make a decision on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
Well,
would be
but we're
interesting
gonna
to know.
have to- Yeah.
Go ahead.
We're gonna have to get it back one way or the other, unless we decide to have it
Unless
fixed.
you
I don't
decide to
see-
have it repaired.
Yeah, that's,
Well, I guess we talked about having it repaired because we're on the schedule to replace it in 2028,
yeah, with that.
right? So we would really need to get another year and a half out of it for 15 grand, realizing that we might spend another 15 grand somewhere over the next course of the next year. But then we can think about purchasing a vehicle and not have to finance it. Otherwise, we're looking at having to finance probably whatever it is.
Is there any tasks you do with it where a 1-ton would be insufficient? Like things that you would normally do with it?
No, I mean we use it for mostly for our salt and plowing, the pavement in the winter, and then in the summertime we'll use it when we have to go cut trees or go put up signs or just our small stuff, so we're not driving a 10-wheeler around town.
No, I get that, but I was just like, why? Is there a reason why we went with I don't have the history on it. Why we went with a 550? If there's a difference in cost,
I don't know why they ever purchased the
if we're
550.
not doing things that demand that.
No, because we also have the Low Pro, which is a bigger truck than that. If we need one, that's the next step up.
Yeah, I think we were looking for something,
That
basically we
available.
bought that used.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
that's-
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to get some numbers on that if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. And then I don't know I know in the past the part-timers used to get half-day holiday pay. I don't know if that's still a thing or if these part-timers are eligible for that or not.
Part-time holiday pay, part-time,
The part-timers,
yeah.
But they're not permanent part-timers. I mean, these guys are part-timers,
right.
but because they don't work 40 hours a week, but they have signed on to a commitment to keep the job, keep the town running.
Okay, I
Not
guess
quite the same as,
I guess I was asking because if Lewis was to get holiday, then I have to schedule that with his hours, keep his hours at a certain level.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
he got the holiday pay, then I can't work him tomorrow.
oh,
Yeah. I think that
Yeah,
we're
I
still
think-
kind of assuming that these two gentlemen until they are interested in becoming permanent part-time employees, that they're seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It
And they-
depends on
but
how
they
many
haven't-
months they work, so I don't know, I'm trying to remember the federal labor law, but I think if they work more than 6 months of a year, then they
They're not
would be
considered
eligible.
seasonal.
I mean, you'd have to look at the labor laws, and I don't have them memorized, so. But there is a certain
Great, thanks a lot.
amount of time where if you're hired as a part-timer, that eventually you're
If they
eligible for
want to,
benefits.
yeah, okay, if they want to be committed, these guys, what do you say? You know this stuff. I'm looking at you.
I can tell you I'm not gonna be a permanent part-time person.
Okay. Yeah, alright.
And then Pete, any follow-up with the young man who was maybe interested in,
Yeah, he actually found himself another job,
Nothing.
so
bummer.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
yeah.
And do we still have that advertised?
No, I think we advertise it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We could look, I mean, we've mostly been putting it in newspaper ads. We could look at alternative ways of advertising for this position.
Still on BLCT?
That would be you guys.
I don't believe it's on BLTC.
Okay.
No, we talked about putting it on, but we didn't talk about who was gonna actually do that, so. Didn't get done.
Is that something that
Yep,
you can do?
yep.
I think we have an advertisement already made up,
Hmm.
so I don't think that hurts. I kind of thought that had been on there.
At one point it was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. And then I guess, well, if you can think of any other places to put this,
Just
it's going to be
going
pretty
through.
critical for us to find some help.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if Dana is interested in being permanent part-time, is there a process that he could go through to be?
Who's
I think he said he was not interested in permanent.
Or
work.
not
He just said
interested?
he
Oh,
was.
sorry.
But
I
the other
misunderstood.
one-
I thought you said you were.
No.
You're gonna get talking.
But if Lewis is interested in making a commitment,
Yeah, and I don't know if he is or not, because he's still looking for a place to live, and if he says
Yeah.
if he moves, then he might not want to travel here.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And
I have
then,
a restriction on my retirement, so I would have to pause my retirement and start a new one if I started here
Uh-huh.
over 24 hours.
hmm,
I believe your ad said something about voluntary to get on a retirement, but I think if the town accepts Vermont municipal retirement, you're required to be a member if you're hired. Because that's where my restriction is, because I can't
oh,
work over 24 hours
oh, okay.
because I'm be required to start.
Hmm,
So I almost think a 30-hour employee
hmm,
may have to get on the retirement.
hmm.
But you can check into that.
But you're still hanging around for a while?
All right. Thanks.
I will a little bit. I was trying to help Peter get caught up, and there's quite a lot to do.
so what we've been working on for the last couple weeks is we've been driving around trying to clear the end of culverts out with shovels, instead of, loading our excavator, unloading it, loading it, every 100 feet. And to drive the excavator around town is not feasible. So I didn't know if we could possibly, I don't know what our rental budget is, but I don't know if we could possibly rent a backhoe so we can actually have something just for a couple weeks to drive around and actually clean these culverts out. 'Cause there's a number of them, there's so many of them that are completely buried.
We do have a rental budget. I want to say.
We don't have a backhoe?
No. We have an excavator, but it
Let's see.
wouldn't be good to drive that all the way around town.
Oh, okay.
It'd be bad for the machine.
I feel like I recall it being about $6,000.
Well, that was with
You
the
had a
big,
price for
big
the
one.
rental too.
I did get a price for, I got a price for 1 month for a backhoe. And it was $3,900 with delivery. For them to bring it here and pick it up.
So for our equipment rental, this year's budget was 6,500. We spent just under 1,500, or 15,000, sorry, for some of the FEMA work that we did with the excavator. I don't have the next year's budget with me today. I'll
Okay.
start bringing that, but I would assume it's probably 6,500 or something.
I think so. That's my recollection.
So,
So Pete,
equipment rental, yeah, 6,500. For next year, we put in 1,000. So you're saying out of the 6,500, we've only spent 1,500?
that's last year's.
Last year's was 6,500 and we spent 15,000, just under 15,000.
Yeah, say, we had that excavator for
Yeah,
quite a
yeah,
while.
Yeah,
that
that
big,
excavator
big
for a while.
excavator for quite a while.
And so having it for a month.
I don't know if we
Maybe.
need it for the whole month.
Okay, so it's probably, I mean, it's always a better deal to get it for a month than it is for 2 weeks or
Yeah.
whatever, or 3 weeks. But I guess if you can look into that, if you think that it can get done in a month. And then the other question I have is someone, because if you have it for a month and you're using it to clear culverts, is that a one-man job with that
That is
backhoe?
a one-man job.
So somebody else is out on the grader or whatever?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
That would
I
be
think that
just-
makes a lot
That
of
would be
sense.
just one person going around and cleaning out the ends of them, and, cause I'd really like to try to get caught up on some of all these plug culverts that are buried, you know, you can barely see the upper ends or the lower ends of them.
Okay,
And they're everywhere. I'd like to try to get caught up on a lot of those.
yeah.
You think it's economically feasible to rent that machine versus hiring somebody with a machine?
I don't know what it would cost to hire somebody with a machine.
When you rent the machine, you gotta rent it, then you gotta insure it. You gotta pay
Right.
for the insurance on it, you gotta fuel it, you gotta put an operator on it. So if you operate it, that takes you away from other jobs.
Right.
So now you've crippled yourself with a person versus having somebody bring in the machine. You don't pay the insurance, you don't pay the moving. They're gonna come in, operate it, and leave.
I guess I can get a price for that too and see what the difference would
I
be.
would definitely look at that versus rent.
You don't
How
mind?
would you, where would you find people like that?
They're all over the place.
In the yellow pages? or-
Yeah.
What we're gonna run into in that situation is that it's gonna be above $8,000, and so we're gonna have to put that out to bid.
No, for 3,900 is not.
No. If we do what Larry is saying,
Oh,
it's
okay,
gonna be more than
alright,
$8,000.
yeah.
So it would be an RFP that we would have to
Yeah.
write.
How
So-
many days do you think you're gonna run that thing?
I'm thinking it's gonna take at least 2 weeks at a minimum, maybe into a third week.
Well, if you don't mind figuring out what that is, and then I think we can come back. We'll check with Lily to make sure that there is money in the budget for.
Well, this actually, through March, we did, budget 6,500 and have spent 14,906. So, there's no budget left, but, you know.
It's gotta be done. It's gotta be done.
Could you rent it July 1st?
You want I got it.
Sometimes, I mean, if a lot of this $14,000 was FEMA,
I don't have my. I don't remember.
was, I don't know if that was,
It wasn't eligible.
well,
It wasn't eligible.
was ineligible
Yes.
for FEMA?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
To recall what that was for. Skip.
Skip.
Can I ask why it was ineligible?
So, Skip, we had this conversation a while ago. The exact details as to why it wasn't, I can't recall. But there was a portion of our rental with the excavator that was eligible, and then a portion that was not eligible.
That big excavator was used on the Wilbur Road for a
Yes.
non-FEMA
Yeah.
I
project.
was gonna say, we
that's what
used
it
it
is.
on a couple of grant jobs.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's why.
My gut is that it's gonna make sense to do this, but if it,
I mean, if I have to wait till July, then I have to wait till July. I just was trying to throw it out there to see if I could do the whole back.
Well, if you rent it for a month, do you have to pay initially, or can you, if we rent it for a month and we start in June, then the month will end in July,
Yes.
and then we can make the payment. That would be one way to get it into
True.
fiscal year 27.
I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know
see
whether they want money.
Yeah,
They probably do want it.
they probably want so much up front or something.
Yeah.
probably not. Can we revisit this?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Anything else on your agenda, or are we ready to move on to?
Just be trying to grade between rain. That'd be it for me.
Alright,
What?
so that would be it for him.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
Michael, do you have?
Yeah, I have
updates?
some quick updates. So, one question, Peter and I met this morning, and we're talking about some, I know you have summer projects here. We would like to try to do the Better Roads grant for Valley Lake Road, kind of in, junction with the, box culvert. It's gonna be, or not a box culvert, but whatever. it's
Valley
gonna-
Lake Road culvert.
color, yeah. But I haven't really seen the contract. I don't know when they're contracted to start work. I know that they have to be done by a certain date because of the school opening, but it would be helpful. I don't know if I could get a copy of that contract, so Peter could kind of coordinate and have a sense of when he would need to start the Valley Lake
Yeah,
Road
there's a
project.
state mandate as far as when you can work in a stream. I don't know if it's July 1. Nobody knows. Okay.
No, I think you can work in a stream now.
Before July 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all you have to have is the rivers and streams alteration permit.
And the road crew won't be that permit for the culvert is already set. The road crew won't be working on a stream, they'll be working on the road.
Right, that, yeah.
So,
But,
So there's.
but as far as your question was when the,
yeah, I mean,
Contractor's gonna
we were
start.
just trying to figure out, there's these other grant projects. So just trying to get a sense of scheduling work for the summer, just, to have a sort of a plan.
And that's
So-
on file with the clerk's office.
So
Is
I
that
could, I
kind-
could come down and just look at that and get that date. Okay. All right.
Obviously, access to anything you want there.
Okay. And then we were able to submit on FEMA Go the Buck Lake Brook Cabot Road project, the brick grant application. So that has been submitted, and now it's being reviewed by who knows who, but it's under review right now. Keith Cubbin from CVRPC thought there was a good chance that we would get funding for that. And that's basically just a study, not any construction work. And we also would be, because we're a poor rural town, our match would be just 10% instead of 20%. So our match would be now about $7,500.
we budget for that at all?
No, because we
We
didn't
didn't
really,
know, right,
we didn't
okay.
really even know. So, and this won't happen tomorrow. They're gonna have to do this review, and who knows how long that will take. So this will be probably more into fiscal year 28 that this actually happens.
So we could have time to budget for this.
We would have time to budget, I would hope, yeah. It's not a rush thing, it's just a steady thing, so. Keith thought it would probably take 2 or 3 years for this to actually be something that might happen, so. And that's pretty much it.
How about the bank project?
Uh,
The USDA?
Yeah, the civil engineer did come and do another site visit for the design work for the bank. I haven't heard anything about that, but soon there will be design work that will come. So USDA will be pretty much done that part of the project. And then it will be up to us to decide whether or not, we want to try to go through with the work or not. We have that option. We don't have to do this if we don't want to. And with the design work, we'll have an estimate for how much that's gonna cost.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and then Brian Voigt at CVRPC, who's sort of helping me oversee that project, if we did want to proceed, he would put together an RFP that we could put out to contractors. It's going to be, contractors are probably already booked through for this year.
Like
so,
next year.
yeah, so which would actually be better because we haven't budgeted for this either.
Can you remind me again which one that is?
It's the Buck Lake Brook Caddo Road.
Okay,
Yeah.
same one.
It's a building resilient infrastructure and communities. That's what BRIC stands for. It's a federal.
But now you're talking not about brick. You're talking about the
that,
bank.
That is BRIC. That is a grant through BRIC.
Oh. I thought the brick was the study you're talking about.
Oh right, it is. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. Yeah, this is the
USDA
Emergency Watershed Protection Program through USDA Natural Resources and Conservation Service. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, got it.
Which we're hoping to get some stone donated.
Right. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we did get a $20,000 grant award for, let's see, the Better Roads Valley Lake project. That's the amount that
And
we've
did
been
we
awarded. It's pretty much
do we
what
have
we
a match
had.
for that?
Yeah, but that is another one that is budgeted, I believe. Actually, no, it isn't because we just got that award this spring. So again, this is work that won't happen until next summer. Although the Valley Lake Road project is going to happen this summer if we do it with the culvert. So I guess that's one where we'll have to come up with a match. But usually the match for those projects is done through the town equipment rental, materials, and labor. So we usually meet the match not by having to give a chunk of money, but through labor. So, yeah. And all the culverts on that stretch of road are plugged.
I don't have a culvert, so.
Now, you're lucky you're at the top.
Thanks, Michael.
Okay.
Real quick update on the garage roof. I have a call into, can't remember the name of the company, Doyle, I think. Because when I did finally review that scope of work, and there's nowhere in there that I can find that indicates that the roof deck needs to be replaced.
Yeah, I don't think the insurance company was looking at going through the roof.
Yeah.
I think they were thinking about doing it all from the ceiling.
Yeah, except that my understanding is right that roof deck is quite possibly damaged from the amount of moisture that.
Well, the old boards that were on there and that they put OSB over the top of, that's all rotted and falling down in pieces.
So we need to consider. I mean, I can give them a call, but we need to consider before winter. Making sure that roof doesn't leak if we're going to do all this work. And you made the phone. Go ahead, Lily.
So are you looking to include the roof in the claim? Or try to include the roof?
Try.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, I think, probably getting a contractor on that and having them. So let me back up.
Yeah.
I got an email and a document for the total price of the estimate for the claim, which is $40,993 and some change. And in this document, it essentially says once you sign it, we'll send you the money. if a contractor comes around and says that there's more damage or we need to renegotiate, we'll reopen the claim. So I
Right.
would suggest
Oh.
maybe getting a contractor to view the additional roof damage and then calling the insurance company
Before I do it.
yeah,
Okay,
I would say so,
all right.
because they'll probably want that back up too.
Know where that went. All right, so I guess between the two of us, we'll get some contractors over there to take a look. Maybe Aaron's one of them.
I can get him over there.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
All right. At least take a look to see if the damage is. My gut is that a lot of that roof damage is a result of all the ice damming, which is a result of having no ice insulation in there.
Yeah, he
And-
would probably only be just a roofer though. He probably wouldn't. I don't know if he would do everything else.
Right.
Because you'd have to have electricians in there if
Right,
they
right.
want the ceiling to come down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point. Okay, we'll brainstorm somebody. Thanks, guys.
I don't know if ECI maybe or Engelberth.
Or maybe Steve Connor. Okay. Look at that. Thanks. I'm gonna make a suggestion that if it's not in a position, Graham and Lily, because you guys are gonna be here to the bitter end anyways, that we maybe bump up the FEMA status update so that Skip, who's been patiently waiting in the back, can
You can have my
say something and then.
FEMA update, huh?
Yeah. Thanks, Skip.
So I just went on to the grants portal just before I came here, and the status of the 2 open projects hasn't changed.
Yes. And I just want to back up is that, just so that you know, I did call and talk, I told Skip this, but I'm not sure I've let everybody know, is I've called, had a conversation with Mark Johnson to tell him that we're not pursuing the Category Z funds for 2026. Skip and I both agreed that an email would probably saying that,
Suffice,
and I
yeah.
told Mark that we weren't gonna meet again, so that I wouldn't be able to get to this right away. So I'm telling you now, if you are both agree, that I'll write an email to Mark saying we're not pursuing that.
Yeah, I put out an email saying that, 90 days after, what Mark Johnson had indicated, brings us to the middle of February. So any timesheets that I put in to the middle of February could be included. But if you think it's cleaner just to stop at year 2025, then that's fine.
I think that there's a lot of things that aren't fair or you see about this.
Well, yeah, it's-
And, but I think we probably need to,
Yeah, if we
We
want
need
to, split hairs.
It's so weird that when we had that Zoom call, when we were all on with the Mark and, what's her name? That-
What's her name? Yes.
Mark said, it sounded like he wanted to make sure that you were putting in your time for that day. But that was
No.
not true.
Well, it is true.
Oh, well, anyways, yeah.
Meetings are meetings, and,
Many things were said that day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Point of order, if it's, for the folks watching and those of us in the room who don't come every week, could you name these 2 projects that are open so
Sure.
that we know what they are?
And maybe who Mark Johnson is too.
So projects that are still open are on Town Highway 23. That's project 741691.
You
asked
asked.
for it.
I did.
And on Town Highway 24, project 741691. And what they entail is replacing,
That one probably has a different number than the first one you gave me.
yeah, 741688. And both projects entail replacing wooden span bridges with pipe culverts, large stainless steel pipe culverts.
Like that.
Yeah, like that.
Yep,
That's enormous.
with that fake AI photo.
No.
That's true, that's true. So anyhow, we've already been paid for this, even though it says pending award on this. So we've been paid, that $814,000 that is still under review by FEMA. So we've been paid for that. So we're good to, as Lily and I have gone through on many occasions, take the 300 and something thousand out of that 814,000, leaving Woodbury to pay back $505,000 or something like that. So, anyhow,
So,
and so what happens next is this has to change from pending award to final completion. And another curious thing here, the last email I sent to Mark Johnson, who's the director of Vermont Emergency Management, no, maybe not, but this has to change from estimated cost to actual cost. So FEMA still has work to do on this. And it's just incredible that they, well, it's not really incredible, but it's
unbelievable.
it's disappointing that they still have work to do on this.
After you've submitted the required information, how many times?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, okay.
you've seen the letters, you've seen the timeline
Yeah,
that I
really.
put together. And apparently that has had some traction, I guess, at Vermont Emergency Management.
Yep.
And at FEMA. And can you speak to that, or are you
Sure.
allowed to speak to
Please.
that?
Real quick, a recovery and mitigation section chief. That's Mark Johnson's title,
Recovery and mitigation section.
at least according to this.
So in my conversation with Mark, he indicated to me that well, he started by saying, I've put measures in place so that this doesn't happen again. And then indicated to me that what happened was, help me out, Skip, PDMG?
Program delivery managers from FEMA for the 2023 project.
And I think you had 7 or 8 over the course of the
Right now, I'm looking at 7
7.
in my list.
So at some point, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but there was in 2024, December of 2024, right? He left.
There's a gentleman named Terry Halsey who left. He was followed by Jane Wells, who was followed by Maria Gonzalez, who was followed by Josh Tallman.
I think it's not just Tallman.
And that's from FEMA. From
Yeah.
the state, it was Andrew Flagg who left.
Yep.
And he was followed by Grace Fennelly, who dropped off the face of the earth somehow, and she doesn't answer my emails. I don't know if she still works for the state. And the project's morphed over to Kim Konarecki.
So when Andrew Flagg left in December of that year, there was not a good transition to the new person, and there were emails that didn't make their way to the new. I guess it's not a PDMG, but a
It's state of Vermont recovery officer.
equivalent. Yeah, equivalent in the state of Vermont. Never made it, and that's where things started to break down. And so the scope of work change that was indicated to Andrew Flagg never made it to this new person.
And that,
So that's where we're at.
in the letters and the timelines that produced and sent to both FEMA and to the state, it's pretty evident that, back in July of 2024, they knew that there was going to be a change in the scope of work. And, this is rehashing old stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's clear that there was a breakdown. But you would think that the state or FEMA would want to make Woodbury whole, and not asking us to pay back $100 and something thousand for the mitigation work that we did with some of these excess obligated funds. You would think they would find some grant money somewhere or something, that would make Woodbury whole, but I guess that's not gonna happen.
I also cut out an article the other day about FEMA money coming to the state, and there was like $10 million to replace a culvert on the rail trail.
I saw that.
Yeah,
We could use $100 grand of that.
yeah, it's a little piece.
Yeah, but also I haven't seen anything from the Department of Public Safety. Those are the folks who send us the financial forms to sign off.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I haven't received a revised financial report, which would be the last financial report for this disaster, 4720. Haven't seen that. So,
but we did get a little bit of our, I've forgotten now all the letters.
ERAF.
Yeah.
The ERAF, yeah. Well, that was
$25,000
like
of ERAF,
little concession
Yep.
yeah.
to us.
Mm.
But we still owe more
It still
ERAF
owes
money.
like 50,000 more.
Yeah. They didn't send us all naturally, but you know, here's something.
But that's still money we should have had anyways.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, it's still owed to the town.
Mm.
And, you know, when we reached out to our United States representatives, our contact there understood that somewhere, someone made a mistake.
Mhm.
And I don't know if they can do anything to find $100,000 or so.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's possible at their level. But who knows, maybe we'll be surprised and the state will come through and say it's okay.
Hmm. In the meantime, we're holding on to all that money and we can't make any interest on it.
Oh, don't even do that. You don't want to complicate things by making interest on that.
Oh,
You can only make $500 on that. So we're sitting on $500,000? Or,
It's a little less,
yeah, a little less,
422.
422. And we can only make $500 of interest on that.
Hmm.
Yep, we'll have to send back any additional interest we make on that specific money.
Hmm.
So that's the only update I have. It's been,
Okay.
you know, pretty silent. I haven't heard from Kim Konarecki, who is usually my go-to person at the state, but I don't know if she's been told not to talk to me anymore. Or
Maybe,
what?
maybe if they held on to it long enough to make $100,000 of interest, they could find $100,000 of interest.
Yeah, but then Lily would go to jail.
No.
Thanks, Skip.
You're welcome.
So Paul, you have enough, you have an understanding of this whole deal? Or you talk with Skip some more?
I'd love the select board to give Skip the approval to give me his timeline.
Yeah, we could. I'm in favor of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's a public document. It's in the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wants to see it absent a FOIA request, you know, they could just ask the select board.
Yeah. Oh, well. I have, yeah.
Because I'm an agent of the select board.
Right, I
in essence,
understand
you know.
that, but if he wants to talk, do you need our permission just to talk to Paul and give him your
Oh, I can chat
version
with
of
Paul.
things? Okay.
I was planning to catch you after the meeting, but they're gonna let you out early.
Yeah, thank you. We can maybe, I don't know what your timeline is, if you have a,
Yeah.
Just
We're
let us
to
know.
get it in this week. I know how to get it okay.
okay.
It's a good story.
Well, I know it's
Yeah, probably not a next week news, but
like a Greek
Well,
drama.
just so it's clear talking with other FEMA people, they're dealing with many of these same things. So I think if I can talk to all of them and get them to say what's going on, people can learn from other people. And the community will learn how wild this whole process has been. So that's, and maybe I should talk to them too.
It was going smoothly. You know, we were submitting our disaster reports and submitted for funding. Everything was going fine. And all of a sudden, these two projects just jumped up, and it was crazy. You know, they expected an applicant, which we are, the town of Woodbury, to generate a statement of work,
Yeah.
which applicants don't do. Statements of work are issued by the Consolidated Resource Center in Puerto Rico. So that's another issue that, you know, well, why didn't you issue a statement of work? Because applicants don't do that.
So, Paul, Skip has been very good with all the details. If you wanna look at a whole bunch, I've got a whole file full. In my office, you know where I
I
am.
can send it out to you electronically, how's that?
That would be great.
No, I don't, I don't have
Editor at
paper.
hardwickgazette.org.
Yeah, you don't want paper.
I'd rather not.
All right, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
We can get back on track hopefully.
Yeah.
And we'll go back over to Graham Christie, our town clerk, and his report.
Nothing to report. Learning under the guidance
Such a-
of Robin, who's been very gracious and patient.
Nice.
So our school vote went well with Rover Cups. 167 residents voted, participated in democracy. 67.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
More
it
than
jumped
last
up
time,
towards the
yeah.
end. They all started
Yeah.
coming in at
Yeah,
the end,
really.
because there was nobody at
Yeah, because
first.
by 2 o'clock there'd been like 30 people.
Yeah.
Good thing you guys were there.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to be involved in the process from start to finish.
Mhm.
And you were right, that town hall building in Hardwick
Isn't it crazy?
is really cool.
Really
I
cool.
like that,
Yeah.
I like going there, seeing other people from other towns.
Yeah,
Yeah, big old party.
yeah, we certainly did.
Well, I appreciate the brevity.
Yeah, so that's it.
Anything you need from the select board?
Nope,
Okay,
not as of yet.
great. Thanks. Moving right on. Lily.
Okay, pretty short report. First I want to start off with some guidance from you all about the town clerk as an appointed position instead of an elected position in regards to sick personal holiday. So when I was appointed, the board, whew, can't speak. You guys, when these meetings go on too long, I start getting all tongue-tied.
Yep.
When I was appointed, the board chose to prorate my leave benefits essentially as if I was a part-time employee. Since I was appointed, I would suggest that the board decides to do that with Graham as well. Especially in this process as we're, looking at our personnel policy and making updates. So this would equal 60 hours of sick leave, 12 hours of personal leave, and holiday leave calculated at 6 hours per day to reflect his 24 hours a week. This wouldn't be a lump sum, obviously it'd be prorated since we're, he came on just about at the end of the year. But that, I believe, is how it should happen, but I wanted to double check with you all because there's no specific wording in any personnel policy that looks at part-time, non-highway employees, only part-time.
I thought that was what it was all about, that we were talking about, been talking about for months.
Yes, but it's not, we haven't adopted it yet, so
Oh,
we can't
okay.
follow it till we adopt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does the board feel?
Well, I think, whatever's in line with, whatever's in line with what's usually done.
Great.
Agreed. And then, so you've made a mental note as we move to approve the personnel policy, that we would address something like this in that newer version.
Yes, so
Yep.
essentially this would be something that would be addressed under the elected officials
Yep.
agreement for when Graham is now an elected official, if
Yep.
he decides to stay with us.
Yeah.
And that personnel policy, since we're, removing the word highway worker and just using employee,
Yep.
part-time employee would adhere to anyone who is part-time, yeah.
Okay.
They keep him on as a highway worker.
Make him full-time.
Yes.
we've kind of already gone over the VLCT passive garage claim that I had on here. So it sounds like you're gonna get a contractor, and then we're gonna negotiate with the insurance company about
We'll see
it.
what they say, yeah, I
Yep.
think that's a good idea.
So on, should have numbered these, on page 3, you will find the internal financial controls checklist for municipalities. So I have filled this out every year before, I believe, June 30th. The select board should be given one of these by statute. So I filled it out. I forgot to bring the copy that I had already signed, so I'm gonna sign this one and then pass this over to you guys and have you sign it as well. As long as
Just
that's-
indicates that we received this from you.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. And essentially, it just goes through some fairly basic, kind of outdated, in my opinion, internal controls. As you read through some of these questions, you can tell that, some of these questions were written when we weren't using, online systems or accounting softwares. So,
But what's good about this is, if you do take a look at it, I'm looking at the one where you answered you don't know, have the select board members attended financial trainings? Like, that's something to think about.
Yep.
For board members, I think that's one of the more challenging things as a board member
to grasp.
to grasp that stuff. So maybe that's, anyways, it's good to look at this every now and again.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Once a year.
Can you pass this over and have Chris sign this copy, and that's the one I'll keep?
Just as a side note, I think P-Check offers,
Thank you, sir.
embezzlement training every year.
Oh,
That more, I think that's, a select board member could go to. Or anti-embezzlement training, I should call it.
Does VLCT still offer the select board kind of a day-long session, especially for new select board members every year? Have you guys ever been to
I'm
those?
seeing Paul shake his head yes, so.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with
because
that.
when I was on the select board, they did do some financial kind of training as parts of all the legal stuff.
Yeah.
They covered quite a large base.
I find that a lot of the trainings that are up are like middle of the day.
Yeah, I can't remember, this was a weekend, I think it was a weekend, but,
Yeah, they don't,
Yeah.
I mean, they started having some in-person trainings, they sort of devolved into doing a lot of Zoom trainings, which are,
yeah, well, this was a
Pretty
day-long
tough.
thing, it was in person, and they actually fed you lunch. so.
yeah. Yeah, I remember some of those,
Only other thing that I'll say about this internal control checklist, with the changes in the office, I think me and Graham have started speaking pretty informally about some of the internal controls that we have, where there's room for improvement. I've talked with Bonnie as well. So it's just something we're keeping an eye on and working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, do we want to try to set a date for to have another meeting to review the personnel policy?
I think that would be great to set that right now.
I'm not available until after the 8th,
After June
so we
8th.
can't do next week.
Let's push it off to, our next regularly scheduled meeting would be is it the 8th?
It would be
The 8th. Want to try to do what is that Thursday, the 11th of June look like?
we have to have a meeting next Monday anyways, to finalize our Swenson
Yeah.
proposal.
But this
we
is,
don't need to,
I'm trying to schedule a meeting to
Oh.
review the personnel policy.
oh, okay.
Is the 11th work?
Probably.
Where would you have that meeting?
I guess we would have it at the town Doesn't matter to me, town office.
The only reason why I'm asking is June 11th is the graduation
Or,
for the
Hayes-
elementary
for the
school.
elementary
Oh,
school.
okay.
Yeah, let's have it at the
Okay.
town offices. Thanks for the
5
heads up. 5 work for you?
I can generally be there at 5.
All right. Diana?
June 11th,
5.
what day of the week is that?
Thursday.
Thursday? And this is about personnel policy
Mm-hmm.
that we don't have a copy of yet?
Thought we did.
I think we have a copy.
We do?
Yeah, I'll send it up. Do you want me to print you off a physical copy?
That would be nice.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then the last time I think Lily and I spoke, she highlighted the things that have changed since, and a lot of it is simply formatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
There's
I'll bring
a
that.
there's
I'll
a
bring
cheat
that
sheet
to the
on
meeting.
what to look for and what's
Yeah.
changed. And like I said, most of it is formatting. Alerts, 1 day before, 2 days before. Okay.
One more thing that I wanted to talk to you all about. Actually, me and Graham wanted to chit chat about. So I'm not sure if you all recall, but oh gosh, Robin, how long ago did we have that meeting? 5 months ago?
I was gonna say it was last fall sometime.
Yeah, we had a meeting with the Village Trust Initiative. So the Village Trust Initiative is, so it works with Vermont communities to support locally driven village revitalization projects that focus on strengthening community connection, preserving historic village centers, and creating shared public spaces. And
We're too busy tearing things down.
Yeah, really,
yeah.
maybe they could help us with that.
Right. That being said, me and Graham attended another meeting with them, and we kind of want to bounce this idea off of you. So the Village Trust Initiative would come into this community and make a partnership with local citizens in the community. They would need the town's approval and support. So it wouldn't be a direct partnership with the town, but it'd more so be the town needs to sign off on the creation of this nonprofit group in the community that would focus on finding a project in Woodbury that would, increase community engagement, preserve the village, so on and so forth.
Is there money involved?
Yes, there is. So, like I said, Woodbury, the town, the municipality would not be responsible for anything other than saying, we love this idea, we're on board with it, go on, go ahead. So what me and Graham want to do, since we met with them, is we would like your guys' support in us using our positions to push this out into the community and say, this opportunity's here, if anybody's interested, let's hold a meeting, let's get in touch, essentially. So our work in it would kind of just be getting it up off the ground, promoting it to the community, seeing if anyone is interested in this opportunity.
The opportunity, I don't understand what the opportunity is. For people to come in and hold meetings and,
No.
no?
The opportunity, so for instance, is East Callis General Store.
Mm-hmm.
They came in and, I'm not sure the entire process, but the end result is that there is a committee, I'm not sure.
There's I believe it would, people would need to form a 501c3.
So the committee is actually owns the entity, but they have an operator that comes in and operates the store.
So there would have to be an idea for a project.
Yes.
And
yes.
a place.
And a place. The place is the
place,
problem at
yeah.
the moment.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a store, but.
But
there
that-
could be other
that-
things.
That store would be in perpetuity, so they would never lose it again.
It could be a store, it could also be a community gathering space. What are some of the other ones
It
that?
could be housing.
It could be housing, they're doing housing in a different community. So it's a good pot of money.
And they're really looking forward to giving it to us because we're the only town,
In
county.
this round of funding, we
Right.
would be, they want a project in Washington County.
Cool.
And
Sounds like an opportunity we shouldn't
What
pass
about
up.
I know.
Town hall.
Yeah, making our town hall year-round
A
usable.
viable building
Maybe.
and amongst all the green space in the
Yeah,
village.
really.
I know we're scan on details, but I'm just in general, I'm in favor of anything that encourages other people to get involved in stuff. So just generically, I know this is a very early on, but generically I'm in favor of blessing this endeavor, I guess. That's what it sounds like you're looking for at this point.
yeah, and I think, maybe, front porch forum posts from the town, front porch forum account, maybe having something on the website, promoting this and, seeing if there's anyone in the community who's looking to take charge of it.
I think it's a great idea.
Great, wonderful. I feel like there was one more thing that I wanted to mention. Oh, this is also the last round of funding for this program. So we'll be getting in.
Yeah.
So we'd just be thinking about a project.
It sounds like they helped develop the project idea over there, right?
They help from beginning to end is what
Yep.
it sounds like. They help people form the nonprofit, they help community engagement, development of natural resources. What is the group? John, you probably know what I'm talking about. The Committee on Rural Development, something like that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
That's VCRD.
They're working on that church in Wolcott for a few years now, and they just formed a 501c3 to do that church in the Bend, in Greensboro Bend. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be nice to
That's great.
be able to do something with our little church over here if they ever decided to sell it or give it, but there's so many limitations.
Yeah. Well, I
As
think
far as there's no land, there's
Yeah.
no septic, there's no water.
Well, I think that's, a part of this process would be, looking at people who potentially have a piece of property or something in the town that they would want to partner with the committee or with the nonprofit to be like, yes, use this, or yes, buy this, yes, take this, and, do with it what you will. Yeah.
If anything, it's an opportunity that needs to be explored.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I heard it. We're in favor. I've got a random question going back just a minute. I'm not sure that either of you know the answer, but you probably know how to find the answer. Do you know how many acres we own that are town garage that's on? Just out of curiosity.
Should be on the tax maps.
Yeah.
Town tax map. Okay.
Should be on the
Yeah,
maps
look
in the
at
town
the,
office.
Okay.
Or Vermont Parcel Bureau would
From
say
our
that.
parcel viewer, yeah.
It's not very much.
Not very much.
Give me a minute.
All right. I'm glad I asked. While you're doing that, no, we can't, because you're up next on the agenda.
To keep things moving along, so I did make the updates to the LEMP, such as they are. So here's the adoption form, so it's just the updating of the various contact information that we discussed and shared and whatnot. So that's just the adoption form. If you want the actual thing itself, I have a copy here, but it's stuff that we've discussed previously.
So you probably need my signature here.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's see here. And then I'll forward it on to the relevant individual. Let's see, remind me, it's on Dog Farm, right?
Yeah, Doc One.
Trying to remember the number. Address.
It looks like 1.5 acres. According to
And then
this.
we own a little corner on the corner of Doc Pond. Is it Valley? Wheeler.
Charter Hill Road.
Tibbetts
Tibbetts
Thank you.
and
Point
Doc
two.
and Dog
and
Pond.
Doc Pond.
0.2.
That's point 2.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
So that's that. So I went through the old RFP. I didn't really see a whole lot on there that wasn't encompassed in the new RFP for the buyout, but there's a few things that we need to. I do have a question for the state, but The main thing is we need to set the dates,
Okay,
assuming,
for a walkthrough.
well, the date the RFP's due, the date of the walkthrough, and the anticipated date of selection.
Yep.
So just kind of set that out, because I'm gonna need to go and use those days to ask for an extension. But before we go and, submit that, I just need to have that to put on the pieces of paper, and then I'll package all of it. And could one of you send me letterhead, cause then I'll throw away a little intro cover sheet on letterhead for the packet.
I can do that.
Do you have any recommendations, John, on like dates that would satisfy?
I mean, the old one was stretched out over months and months and months, but it was done in the winter and then didn't do the demo until things thawed, so I don't wanna use that as a guidance. Plus, that was all, like, the thing that they sent was, oh, and by the way, have it tore down in 90 days from the date of purchase, which, you know, that's not gonna happen.
Sure.
So I don't know, I would think that we would want, it's a fairly extensive project, so we need to give the respondents time to consider and figure and all that, so I don't know that you'd wanna go less than a few weeks.
Yep.
From the date that we posted to the date that it's due.
And do you think it's ready for posting?
I would hope to get the packet to, Graham or whoever needs to post it before I head off, so this week.
So by the end of the week?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be posted by the 29th. And then we're supposed to have a walkthrough.
Yeah, we need to schedule basically, it's optional but recommended to schedule a on-site meeting at some point before you would have that kind of in the middle of that time, and then have the due date for the RFP.
Are you gonna do
So what
separate
about-
ones?
What about
No, both together?
Yes.
what about the week of the 8th when you get back to do, as we schedule a walkthrough?
If we point towards the end of that week, maybe.
Yep.
Are these particular properties that are already in the program?
Yes.
Can you
Yeah.
share the addresses of those?
It's 3664 and 3665. The status is that.
That's Route 14?
Yeah, Route 14. So it's the old fire station, and it's the house opposite, the yellow house opposite. The purchase has gone through, so they're currently owned by the town. Now we need to RFP the demo and restoration of the.
So it looks like we're gonna need the extension, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So these dates are really just so that we can have an extension.
Well, no, we need to put the dates on the RFP stuff as well.
Okay.
We need to say when it's gonna be due and that sort of thing.
Do you want to push it into that? I mean, and tell me if this is crazy, but push it into the week of June 15th, just because we had just scheduled a meeting on the 11th, or we could do like the 10th or something like that.
I don't have a strong opinion. I'd happily do it that week. The sooner the better. So
All right.
the sooner this process can be done, the better. I just don't want to put it too soon that we're crowding things.
So let's do June 10th as the walkthrough.
They've done the asbestos on those buildings.
Bats and asbestos, right?
That's all. It's all under all that is supposed to be subbed by the respondent.
It's part of the RFP.
You can't do that. It's, so if you don't do the asbestos before the bid, people that are bidding can't take that on, because let's say it costs you $5,000 to do that.
Yep.
So you can't have 10 bidders spend $5,000 apiece and not get the job. So every town that we've ever done the job for, they go out and do the actual asbestos
Testing.
and find out, and then it has to be abated, they do the abatement.
We did that for the old store.
Yeah.
You can put the bid out, because a lot of people have been in a hurry to do it. You can put the bid out, but you have to specify that the town is going to do the asbestos inspection and abatement, so that's part of the bid. So the bid can be done and completed, but once the town gets it done, then they proceed.
That doesn't make sense.
I've never bid a job at the town, but I mean, a lot of towns have done the same thing, but then they have to hold up because they end up having to do that. Because there's no way that everybody's gonna spend money to inspect and not have the job.
So will that be part of the grant award if we have to do asbestos abatement?
I would think so.
Or would that be the,
So are you saying the testing or the abatement?
Both.
oh,
Well, the RFP that they had was the bid should include any costs for abatement and disposal, so that's why I was asking about that.
But nobody will bid it that way, because there's no way you can do it. There's no way you know, so you would have to spend a lot of money to go out and have the inspection done. Okay, so if it cost me $5,000 to have the inspection done, and then I gotta get a cost to abate it, but then I got that investment, and I'm not the low bidder, I don't get the job, that's a loss.
Yeah.
And if you've got 10 people doing the same thing, you've got 10 people
I
doing
gotcha.
the same work and nothing's happening.
But what if we do the testing, but then make the abatement part of, like, let's say we verify there's asbestos.
Because everybody's got a different angle. You need to get to get everybody on the same page. It's gonna cost you the same money no matter what. But to make it right, the town does the inspection, does the abatement. It's a level playing field. You're done. It's gonna take, and right now, it's a slow process because there's 140 houses going down in the state of Vermont. We just did 3 of them in the last month.
what, 140
Houses,
destruction?
Extension.
Okay,
just demolition.
yeah.
So
I mean, I'll ask for the extension. I mean, I'm just going off of basically the stuff that
That's
they
left to
gave
go
me.
this
So
summer.
I'm just like, well,
We're just,
he's.
I didn't know
so,
this either.
that's
Yeah.
left to go, ones that haven't been.
So I can call him tomorrow
Okay.
and see what they have to say.
What would,
Yeah, that's what we did with the old store, and, and then they had to handle the materials special and ship it to a special place. And
Sure.
So you can get into some real messes once you go in there. So, like one of them in Wocat was done, they did the inspection, and then they found vermiculite insulation in it.
yeah.
So then the question comes, there's no way of testing vermiculite to see if it's got asbestos in it, but somewhere in God's world, there's a mine that had a trace of asbestos in it, and
It's
it
in
could
Montana.
possibly have got into this vermiculite.
Yep.
So they had to pull it out of that house, it was $67,000 to pull that vermiculite out of that house. That's what you do.
30% of all vermiculite has asbestos in it, and it comes from one mine. And so you can't know.
In
Yeah.
Colorado.
But
You could probably call Kristen Leahy in Hardwick, because she's been through this,
No,
all the
Well, everybody went through it, I mean, every town in Vermont's been through it.
let me know how I can help.
I can't remember who we hired for the old store.
Yeah, might be in, is there a file
Oh, I'm
somewhere
sure
with
we've
all
got
that
files,
stuff?
KAS does it, and Clay Point does it, and there's a.
Clay Point, that
Clay
sounds,
Point's who did it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
that sounds right, that rang a
Like,
bell. in my
like they're in
head.
Morrisville, is that so?
No, they're, where the hell are they? I know Catamount ended up pulling it out, they're out of
If it comes
Wilmington.
time and you need to submit dates for all
Yes.
those things, you can go ahead and you can just do it. I don't think you need it. Select board approval for that.
Well, I will see how VM wants to handle giving them using their forms.
Okay, sounds good.
I have one quick question on the buyout. If you're now owners, did you get the 10 years of decreasing property tax as part of the buyout from the feds to offset your loss of this turning into, oh, it's already town property?
Well, the house is,
Well, yeah, the house wasn't. It's,
But they didn't cover your,
I don't remember hearing anything
No.
about that.
because I know other towns have gotten offset over 10 years
Huh.
of tax.
I wouldn't stop my bid process for that, though.
No, that has nothing to do with the bid
Yeah.
process.
No, that's
I mean, for the
interesting, though.
asbestos, because I would just state that the town was going to do the inspection and the abatement risk.
Yeah, so
whatever.
Got it.
I'll contact them, and if they, then I'll just cut that out, potentially cut that out of the RFP and have it,
Well, I think you just clarified it, basically.
yeah.
So you think we should do the testing and do the abatement before you
Well,
put out the RFP?
what I'm hearing
No.
is
No?
that the potential responders won't be interested in responding
They don't know,
if
right.
the abatement, the testing and abatement isn't addressed previous or outside of the scope of their project.
Yeah, right,
There's no way to put a price on it, that's the problem, to be equal.
yeah.
And what Larry is suggesting is that we can still issue the RFP as long as we make it clear that the town will do the testing and the abatement, and then the work wouldn't commence until that part of the project was done,
No.
even if a bidder was awarded the
It's gonna
project.
take,
Huh,
it's a process to go through all that just to get it done,
yeah,
get it going.
really,
So, I mean, if you bid it and get it going, you know, anybody that bids it, they're gonna, takes a little while to get geared up and get this thing going, so it gives you that time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna, because it's probably getting close to time to go home.
You all seem to know this guy you're calling Larry. Could he be identified for
It's
the?
okay, just don't worry about who
Larry Furno, can't hide.
Sorry, dude.
I'll give you for that.
All right, so the only really Swenson status is that there's the Act 250 hearing has been scheduled for June 26th at 1 p.m. in the town hall, right?
Yes.
All right, and anybody can come for those that are interested, and it is the commissioners will be there. The lawyers for Polycor, and I will make sure that I'm there. Our lawyer.
Has the town provided info, submitted anything towards the Act 250 hearing at this point?
What do you mean?
Due by June 3rd.
Okay, so is the town,
We have not. submitted
Pre-filed
anything yet.
testimony is due by June 3rd.
all right.
So we haven't submitted anything
And
yet.
that might be an executive session, and you might not want to say what you're doing.
Yeah, well, we already, yeah, we
It's
did
true.
it the other day.
It's true.
Okay.
I do have some
It'll
more,
become public once you submit it.
Yeah.
I just so you know, I was invited by a group of your residents to a home that, if it doesn't abut it, views very clearly where this new work is planned.
I'm
And
sorry?
So I was invited by residents of Woodbury to go to a little informal gathering at the home of somebody who looks at where this work is planned. And
looks
took
at where the work is.
the Swenson
Plan.
expansion of the granite
Yeah,
quarry
huh.
to start crushing
Okay,
and shipping
yeah.
gravel. Or,
This is recently?
yeah, I mean,
I mean, we
within
did
the
have,
last 6 weeks.
oh, okay.
And so I have a story, and now that this is coming to a head, I think it's time to tell that story, so,
Okay,
for what it's worth.
here's a little more information I wanted to give you both, based on the, numbers we talked about at the executive session, and
Okay.
since we're not in executive session, and
We can
we are
read
in a
it.
meeting, so it's okay to share it in a meeting, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Just, yeah.
So I think we will, unless there's any other business for our town, we have bills and payroll orders to sign, but I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Bear with me.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right. Is there any discussion? All right. All All those in favor of adjourning at
8 o'clock.
8:07, please say aye. Aye. Motion passes.